Kate Fisher joins us live from Washington for the latest. Kate, good evening and thank you for joining us. South Africa announcing some success in removing the trade hurdles. Are we off the hook?
Well, it certainly does feel like that, doesn't it? It's certainly an improvement in things. I've been trying to get a reaction from the US trade representative this afternoon here in Washington, and we've not got anything through. We have, though, heard from the National Chicken Council here in the US. Now, they say they applaud what they describe as progress, but they say they still believe there are two obstacles to overcome before they believe that things will have been sorted out for good. They include that one of those is pertaining to food safety and the other is finding an acceptable quota allocation procedure by the South African government. So that's the National Chicken Council, not the US government's opinion. Certainly it does look like things, that kind of stumbling block of this veterinary protocol has been removed, and we are, as I say, still waiting for the US government to give us their official response. That's just the National Chicken Council being slightly wary about how quickly things will progress from here.
Kate, there's a feeling among US critics that AGOA is being used by the US to curtail BRICS influence. How has US states, particularly at the center of a dispute, viewed this criticism?
Well, I think firstly here in the US, AGOA is very much seen as a development tool and not so much as a trade one. The reason the US government began this act was because they wanted to help the African continent to improve trade. They don't get any benefits from it. It's non-reciprocal. It's a one-way street. South African businesses can export to the US tariff-free, duty-free, but it's not the same case for American companies wanting to sell their products in South Africa. So I think they really don't see the two as the same kind of, they're not comparative, if you like, although there are those voices here on Capitol Hill who think that perhaps, that South Africa shouldn't have been continued in AGOA at all, and in fact the economy is advanced enough for them to have graduated out of it. So there are critics of South Africa's membership of it, but I don't think they see necessarily that BRICS and AGOA are on the same playing field.
Now, Kate, why has the breakthrough happened now?
Well, basically because President Obama, the US government, had got so frustrated by what they deemed as the stumbling blocks to this deal going through, that he used a special clause that was included in the reauthorization of AGOA that took place this summer that allowed the US government to put an out-of-cycle review on South Africa if they felt that they weren't complying to their side of things. And this is why they put some pressure on the South Africans, saying you have 60 days to sort out the stumbling blocks to this American poultry being allowed into the country, or we're going to stop all your benefits, well, certainly the agricultural benefits under AGOA. And this has seemed to have worked because, as we've heard today, this veterinary protocol, which was this big stumbling block, has now been signed, and the South African government seemed to be happy with that. It includes certain clauses that would prevent any chickens being exported from any areas where there is avian flu. That was the big concern about 20 or so outbreaks of avian flu in the US this year, and the South Africans wanted to make sure that none of the poultry from those areas would be exported, but that seems to have been cleared up now.
Kate, how soon will the US chicken imports begin?
Well, in theory, they should now be able to begin by the deadline, which is the end of the year, the 31st of December. So assuming that we get word from the US trade representative that they are indeed happy with this protocol that's been signed and things will move forward, in theory, they should be exporting American poultry into South Africa by the beginning of next year.
Well, thank you very much indeed for bringing us up to speed. That was our SABC correspondent, Kate Fisher, joining us live from Washington.